more and more people are looking for resorts that look like slums. And it's become so popular that it's popping up in many different countries. And there's one place called the Amoya Luxury Hotel and Spa in South Africa. They charge about $82 a night. And it looks like you are living in real poverty while you're vacationing. So there are some pictures. It's supposed to look like a shanty town. It's kind of incredible how terrible this place looks, and people are paying $82 a night to stay here. And again, these are people with money. They are looking for a shantytown experience. They are encouraging guests to heat water outdoors with outdoor fires. They also have famous long drop outside toilets.
So that's a long drop toilet. Is that like an outhouse?
That's what I assume it is. Yeah.
Okay, long drop.
Yes.
Okay.
And
That's
according
a visual, huh?
according to this,
right? It made me think the same thing, like somebody's sitting down, but it's a long drop.
Ugh.
I know.
So the hotel says that now you can experience staying in a shanty within the safe environment of a private game reserve. This is the only shanty town in the world equipped with underfloor heating and wireless internet access, which kind of defeats the purpose.
You know, there's something really grotesque about this.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a zoo, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can't even tolerate like who they would normally see in a shantytown and how they would, of course, live in a shantytown. That's unthinkable. But like, it almost feels like you're mocking them.
Totally.
You know, like how?
Of course you are.
like, that's the point, right?
Yeah.
God, that just puts a pit in my stomach.
Well, John
man.
Stossel did a report on that place already. He's like, it's not so bad for the people in shanty towns. They have internet access and they have the heat's floor. Okay, now back to the studio.
It's the kind of report Stossel would do.
Yeah.
So, devil's advocate, the only positive thing that I could see coming out of this is if people want to have some experience of what it's like to live there because they actually do care. So they go here because it's a little bit safer in terms of crime. They experience it a bit, and then they go and they do something positive afterward. I have a very hard time believing that any of that will actually happen, but that would produce something good out of this.
So I went on TripAdvisor because I wanted to see what people were saying about this, right? And so there were a number of reviews, and I want to give you a sense of what they liked and disliked about it. So one reviewer said, visited the shanty town a couple weeks ago. What an incredibly authentic experience we had. The authentic long drop toilets were overflowing raw sewage through the street, and though this might put some people off, but hey, we were after an authentic experience.
Are you?
Okay, now look, I think that $82 is about half of the monthly salary of an average South African.
Yes.
Okay, so if you want an authentic experience, you know what you can do? You can actually go to a real shanty town and say, hey, can I stay with you? I'll give you $10. Okay, my guess is they're going to take it, you know, and then you can have a real authentic experience, not one where you paid $82 and had heated floors, right? But they really think that, like, hey, you know what? We did have a mishap, you know. And the long drop, you know, became a little shorter, right? So like, okay, that was, hey, we encountered one problem. That was authentic.
One other person wrote, go ahead.
It's a lot like Roger and Me, right? So they get rid of all the automotive jobs. They take what's left of their tax money and they build a prison to put all the people who are now out of work into the prison. And before they open it, the richest people in town come and have a party at the prison. Do you remember that?
Oh, wow, no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, and they hung out and it was a big ha-ha, and they were all in tuxedos, black tie event at the new prison before it opened. So yes, this is the, you know, this is a disconnection I can't even imagine from your fellow citizen.
Well, and actually, we've actually now become worse than fictional examples of like dystopic governments. Like in Elysium and the Hunger Games, they've separated themselves from us. But they don't set up tiny little villages where they get to pretend that they're one of the poor people. We're worse than the caricatures in like teen fantasy horror.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a really good point. In Hunger Games, they kill the kids, right? You know, but at least they're not like, oh, let's go to District 12. Let's pretend we're in District 12. Let's go into a coal mine. How quaint.
Oh, look, the shit's overflowing in my toilet. Isn't that adorable?
But this reminds me a lot of people who go to third world countries, or like the people who are trying to get into North Korea to do that tour, right? They want to see how terrible the conditions are. There's something appealing to watching people living in poverty, and I think that's the really, really sad part about it.
Well, look, it really depends, because there's different kinds of people. Like, so Dave, for example, Dave Kohler, who works on the show, loves to go to Bolivia and stuff.
Dave
But
is a very unique guy. So let's
Yeah.
preface what you're about to say by.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's different strokes for different folks. Like he goes, but he has a deep connection to people in Bolivia. Loves them. If he would prefer to live there, right? And he's not faking it. He's not looking for an authentic experience and he likes that atmosphere. And it's not like he's not going to a zoo. Okay, it's not like, oh well, I do declare, look at the natives, right? He wants to live there, right? And so he enjoys that experience. But unfortunately, I think you're right.
He doesn't go to a fake Bolivia?
Yeah, he goes to actual Bolivia. I have a friend from Bolivia and she grew up in Bolivia. And I said, oh, Dave loves Bolivia, Cochabamba. She thought Cochabamba's beautiful. And he says, oh, he loves Oruro. She's like, what? He likes Oruro? And he does. That's Dave Kohler. When we asked him how long, if he had one day to live or whatever, what would he do? He said he'd take an 18-hour bus ride to Oruro. So everybody's different.